Everything you think you know about being human is temporary. In a few hundred years, the thing looking back at you in the mirror might not even count as human anymore. And I'm not talking about some sci-fi movie. I'm talking about what scientists are already predicting right now. We're going to go on a journey. 55 million years ago, all the way to the year 2100. You're going to see where we came from, how we got here, and what we're turning into next. Some of it is going to sound exciting, some of it is going to sound scary, but by the end of this, you're going to look at your own body completely differently. So let's start at the beginning. 55 million years ago, there was no such thing as a human. There wasn't even an ape yet. What existed were tiny, squirrel-sized creatures living in trees. They had big eyes, grabby little hands, and they spent most of their time avoiding getting eaten. These little guys are the ancestors of every primate that exists today, including us. They didn't know it, but they were the starting line of a race that would take tens of millions of years to finish. Fast forward about 50 million years, and you get the first true apes. These creatures were bigger, smarter, and starting to move around more on the ground instead of just swinging through branches. Then, around 6 or 7 million years ago, something huge happened. A group of apes split into two paths. One path led to modern chimpanzees. The other path led to us. This is where things get interesting, because that second path wasn't smooth at all. For millions of years, our ancestors were just one of several human-like species walking around at the same time. There was Homo habilis, the first one to really use tools. There was Homo erectus, the first one to control fire and walk long distances on two legs like we do. There was even Homo neanderthalensis, the Neanderthals, who were actually stronger and had bigger brains than us in some ways. And here's the problem. Here's the challenge that almost ended the whole story before it even started. Around 70,000 years ago, our species, Homo sapiens, almost went extinct. Some scientists think the population dropped to as low as a few thousand people. A supervolcano eruption, climate shifts, food shortages, we were hanging on by a thread. Whole groups of early humans just disappeared and never came back. If a few things had gone differently, you wouldn't be watching this video, because there would be no you, no me, and no channel to tell this story at all. But we made it through. And what happened next changed everything. Around 50,000 years ago, something clicked in the human brain. Some people call it the cognitive revolution. We started painting on cave walls. We started burying our dead with rituals. We started telling stories, which meant we could work together in bigger groups than any animal before us. A chimp can trust maybe 20 other chimps. A human can trust a story, a flag, a religion, a company, and that lets millions of humans cooperate with people they've never even met. Then came the next big leap. About 12,000 years ago, humans stopped just hunting and gathering and started farming. This is huge. This is the moment we stopped moving around all the time and started building permanent homes, villages, and eventually cities. Farming gave us extra food, which meant not everyone had to spend all day finding meals. Some people could become builders, some could become leaders, some could become thinkers. Civilization was born. From there, things sped up fast. Ancient Egypt, ancient Greece, the Roman Empire, gunpowder, the printing press, the Industrial Revolution. Each one of these moments changed what it meant to be human just a little bit more. We went from hunting animals with sticks to building machines that could do the work of 100 men. In just the last 200 years, human life expectancy has more than doubled. We went from candles to electricity, from horses to airplanes, from letters to instant video calls across the planet. And now, here we are. Right now, in your lifetime, we are standing at the edge of the biggest change in human history. Bigger than fire, bigger than farming, bigger than the Industrial Revolution. And most people don't even realize it's happening. Let's talk about what's coming. This is the exploration part, so stick with me because this is where it gets wild. First, artificial intelligence. Right now, AI is already writing text, creating images, driving cars, and diagnosing diseases faster than human doctors in some cases. Within the next few decades, many scientists expect AI to become smarter than humans in almost every measurable way. That doesn't mean robots taking over in some dramatic movie-style battle. It means something quieter and honestly more strange. It means humans working side by side with a kind of intelligence we don't fully understand, using it to design new medicine, new materials, and new technology at a speed we've never seen before. Think about how much changed just in the last 10 years because of smartphones and the internet. Now picture that same speed of change, except it's happening every single year instead of every decade. Second, genetic engineering. Scientists can already edit genes using a tool called CRISPR. Right now, it's mostly used to prevent diseases, but the door is wide open for a lot more. Imagine being able to choose traits for your children or edit out diseases like cancer and Alzheimer's before they ever start. Some countries are already debating laws around this. It's not some far-off fantasy anymore. It's happening in labs today. Third, merging with machines. Companies are already building brain implants that let paralyzed people control computers with their thoughts. This is real, not a movie plot. As this technology gets better, some experts believe humans could eventually connect their brains directly to computers, letting us think faster, remember more, and maybe even share thoughts directly with other people without saying a single word. And now, here's the climax of this whole story. Here's the moment where all of these pieces come together and change what a human actually is. By the year 2100, many scientists believe the average human lifespan could stretch past 100 years, maybe even further, thanks to advances in medicine and genetic repair. Some believe aging itself could become something we can slow down or even reverse, not just treat. Imagine being 90 years old with the body and energy of someone in their 30s. By 2100, a good chunk of the population could have some kind of technology built directly into their bodies. Not just phones in our pockets, but chips in our brains, sensors in our blood, and eyes that can zoom in like a camera lens. The line between human and machine, which used to be so clear, could become blurry in a way that would shock someone from just 50 years ago. And it doesn't stop on Earth. Space agencies and private companies are already planning permanent settlements on the Moon and Mars within the next few decades. By 2100, there could be humans who were born on another planet, who have never even seen Earth in person. Imagine a kid growing up on Mars, looking up at a tiny red dot in the sky, and being told that's where humanity came from. That kid would breathe different air, feel weaker gravity every day, and grow up in a body that starts adapting to a whole different planet. Give that a few generations, and you could end up with humans who look and feel noticeably different just because of where they were born. Here's the part that really makes you think. If humans keep changing our bodies, our brains, and even where we live, at what point do we stop being the same species we are right now? Scientists already have a term for this possible next step. They call it Homo Deus, meaning human god, a species so different from what we are today that our ancestors from 55 million years ago wouldn't even recognize us. And honestly, we might not recognize the humans of 2100 either. So where does that leave us? We started as tiny tree-dwelling creatures scared of everything around us. We became apes that walked upright. We nearly went extinct as a species more than once. We learned to farm, build, write, and think in ways no other animal on this planet ever could. And now we stand right at the edge of becoming something new again, something faster, something stronger, something that might live twice as long and think in ways we can't even picture yet. The truth is, humans have never actually stopped evolving. We just used to do it slowly through nature over millions of years. Now we're starting to do it on purpose through science in just a few decades. That's not something to be scared of. That's something incredible to be a part of, and you're living right at the start of it. If this kind of stuff fascinates you, hit subscribe, because this channel is all about figuring out what comes next for the human race.